But I come back to those crackers and those little trays with all the little cups of juice in them, right? That isn't what this started out as. You think about those guys walking down the road, right? They've been in Jerusalem for days. They walked 7 or 8, how many people have walked 7 or 8 miles? Okay. After walking the 7 or 8 miles, how fresh were you? Okay, now imagine doing that in a desert, on a dusty road, and then pulling out that loaf of bread with no saran wrap. Yeah. And this would have been pretty normal, right, for these guys. They take this bread and they share it with Jesus, or Jesus shares it with them, or they give it to Jesus and he says grace over it, breaks the bread. That was not a little neat and tidy experience. And why do we use little crackers? And why do we use little cups of juice? Instead of like one big jug, bottle, chalice, whatever. Why do we use little cups? I heard somebody say something. It's sanitary. Because if you all shared out of the same cup, we might be spreading germs around, right? That's kind of the point. Now, I'm not saying that we should start spreading germs around. This is where it gets tricky. But this is where you at least need to understand. The act of eating that Jesus was doing, that sharing of that bread and that wine, which were like the basic foods, those things were the fundamentals that made life. You know, they say man does not live by bread alone. That's because a lot of people live pretty much on bread. That was what they had. Still the case in a lot of places. So to give someone some of your bread meant taking some of what kept you alive, some of what kept you going, and handing it over to someone else to keep them going. It's taking a little part of your life and giving it away. Does that sound familiar? Taking a part of your life and giving it away. And when you do that, and everybody's grabbing and pulling and pushing, it gets messy. We still do that. You know, I thought about where they shove the cake in each other's mouths. That's a sign of the intimacy of it, right? You're feeding each other. And when you feed each other, it's a way of saying we're being brought closer together. And so part of what happens in this act that we're doing here, as much as we've tried to kind of push it aside and make it something that's a little easier for us to get to, we're supposed to be feeding each other, getting each other messy, sharing cooties. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what this is about. And if it seems weird, it's partly because it's weird to us. You don't want somebody's grubby hands on your loaf of bread. You don't want someone, and I've been to churches where they use one cup. You don't have to wipe it off for you, but and there are churches that are part of our Christian churches that actually broke off from the rest because they said, if you don't use one cup, you're not doing it right. Now that's no good reason to split off. But there's something to it. There's something to it. There's a symbol there that actually matters. And if we push away from it, it's because it makes us a little nervous too. It makes us a little nervous to get too tied up with each other. But getting tied up with each other is what this is all about. Sharing with each other is what this is all about. And the thing about it is, when you share each other, when you get tangled up with each other's lives, when you start to open your life to other people, Jesus shows up. You know, Jesus said things like, if you take care of somebody else, you're really taking care of me. I'm right there. Jesus said things like, when 2 or 3 of you get together, I'm right there. Didn't say one person. He didn't say you can go out. He said it's important to go off in your closet and pray. But he didn't say it's when you go off in your closet and pray by yourself. That's when I'm going to show up. He said, I'm going to show up when you all get together. I'm going to show up, Jesus said, when you all get together. Because it's when we're together that we have to actually work on loving each other, taking care of each other, taking the chance that somebody might spill their grape juice on our shirt, putting up with each other. And I really believe that one of the reasons it's important to go to church is because it gives you a chance to practice putting up with other people who annoy you. Seriously. And the thing to remember is that you annoy some of them as much as they annoy you. So everybody, and the more annoying you are, the more service you're doing by being there, right? That's logical. But in all seriousness, it's through coming together that we become who we are. It's coming together that we get to know Jesus. And this story, which seems so strange, not just a story about the guys and the bread and all that, but the whole thing. It's a story about what happens when people come to us. The story of Jesus is about God coming to us. Because he's not a zombie. He comes out with this glory and this power and this amazing ability and this chance to touch people's life even more than he did now. And beyond that, to give us the power that he had. When Jesus said, I'm coming to give you the Holy Spirit, that's the power still working. It's the power that makes Jesus present right among us. And that comes to us not by going off in a corner. It comes to us when we come together. And so today, as we come together, I'm going to invite you to do something we're going to sing an invitation song. But I'm going to ask that you do something. I'm going to ask that when you take the tray of bread, that instead of just holding it, that you pass it to the person next to you. So when you take the cup, instead of just holding it, just pass it to the person next to you. That's going to be our very, very simple introduction in this idea of being a little grubby. So as we get ready for it, let's stand together and let's sing our invitation song. Precious Lord, take my hand.